Thank you very much for coming out to today's Goodwill Youth event, where we have job seekers between the ages of 16 to 24 coming in looking for jobs, interviewing with Nordstrom's, learning soft skills from Starbucks, and also getting some great interview tips from Chipotle. This is a great event. Last year we had over 507 students and talent coming through. This year we're hoping for more. Thanks again.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for being here with us today. We are here representing Nordstrom. More importantly, to get you ready for your interview, what to do, what to dress, how to prepare, so that you can give your best interview ever. And I'm Serena. I'm the assistant manager of the entire beauty department at Nordstrom Tacoma.
And I'm Michelle. I'm the HR assistant also at Tacoma. I've been with the company now for a little over 9 years.
And myself, 3 years. Who's ever heard of Nordstrom? Ever heard the name before? Okay,
yeah.
Great. What do you guys know about us?
For your guys' like fashion, that's it. So.
Fashion,
Yeah.
Excellent. That's what we're known for.
What about
Anyone
you guys? I
else?
saw a hand up over here. High quality products and excellent customer service. Right on.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
So to give you guys a little background history on Nordstrom, we've been in business since 1901. We started right here in Seattle, Washington, and we started as a shoes-only store.
And just like you mentioned over here, we are known definitely for our high-end fashion, and we're known as being leaders as far as giving everyone the best customer experience ever. We sell everything from apparel to accessories to beauty. And starting off in Seattle as one store, a shoe store, we now have over 300 stores all over the U.S., all over Canada, and in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So to get us started, we want to show you guys a little bit more about our company, but most of all, you guys, it is so important that when you're meeting an employer for the first time that you make the best first impression. We're going to take a deeper dive into that and kind of talk about what that means. First of all, it's kind of dressing your best, making sure you feel confident and comfortable in what you're wearing, but at the same time that you're preparing for the interview itself.
So the first thing we're going to talk about for your interview preparation is what to wear. Here are some things to consider when choosing your outfit. Number one, it's better to be overdressed than underdressed. And that means that when you walk into a room, especially if it's a group interview, which we do a lot at Nordstrom, you don't want to be the most casual looking person there. And in fact, no one's ever going to look at you and say, oh, wow, she looks way too professional, and think that that's a bad thing. So if you're ever between jeans or slacks, wearing a third piece or not wearing a third piece, just know that it is better to be overdressed. Number two, attire should not be too short or overexposing. And modesty is probably the way that you want to go because you want that interviewer to be focusing on you and your answers. Number three, dress appropriate to the industry. And that means, like for myself in beauty, I would probably want somebody to walk in all in black, wearing a full face, whereas a manager for kids wear might want someone who looks friendly and inviting. So just know what department or what role you're applying for. The moment that you walk in, it should kind of already look like you work there. Number four, in a professional way, dress comfortably so that you aren't focusing on adjusting your clothes in the interview. If you're uncomfortable and you're fidgeting and adjusting your clothes, your interviewer is going to see that as well, and it might come off as unconfident or not really comfortable. Number five, while staying professional, incorporate your personal style into your outfit. We are Nordstrom. We consider ourselves to be a fashion authority. So if you're kind of going a little bit risky, you got a pop of color or a daring accessory, that's probably going to be a good thing.
Details matter. Yes, they do in an interview, very much so. Clothes should be pressed, neat, and fit properly. So anytime that I'm preparing for an interview, what I like to do is I bring out my best outfits. What do I love the most? What are my favorite pieces? And I try them on ahead of time. So I want to see what looks the best, what I feel most confident in, what doesn't have to be adjusted, or just anything, whether you're pulling up your straps all the time, or you're fixing your belt, or your button's not all the way closed, you're always conscious of that. You just want to make sure it just looks the best. With that said, when you have your outfit prepared ahead of time and you need to get it pressed or ironed, you obviously are able to do that before your interview. So that the day of the interview, obviously your nerves are all over the place, and so you want to prepare for your interview and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? And this has this fit. I haven't brought this out of my closet in forever. It just is a couple of steps that just helps you save a little more time during your interview. Don't chew gum in the interview. It's so important. We all want to have fresh breath. Yes, we do. But there's a better approach. When you're chewing your gum and you're interviewing with someone, it's very distracting. So the interviewer might be focusing on you chewing your gum versus hearing what you're actually saying. And a lot of times when we're chewing our gum, we're not conscious that we're chomping. So if you're worried about fresh breath, try a breath mint before your interview. Instead, makeup and fragrance should be moderate. So just like any first date, when you don't know the person very well, you're not sure, if they have sensitivities to smell. You don't want to wear cologne or perfume that might be a little too strong, or that person might have allergies. So try to keep the perfumes and colognes just at a minimum. And then as far as makeup goes, everyone looks the best, but at the same time, we don't want to be distracting up here. So try to wear whatever on your face is more casual and moderate, so it's not distracting to the person that's interviewing you. Wear hosiery or tights when appropriate, such as when you're wearing a shorter skirt. So one cool thing that I like to do, everybody I'm sure is in tune with Pinterest. Are you guys on Pinterest? Okay. So if I'm questioning what I'm wearing, I like to go on there to see what is everybody else wearing. I'll Google maybe the type of skirt or dress that I'm wearing. Are people wearing hosiery? Is it not? And then when in doubt, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Is my skirt too short? I don't want to give the wrong impression. Maybe wear dress pants instead, or a longer dress. But always use your resources. Google, get online. I feel like that's kind of what is at our fingertips. So use that as your resource. And nails should be clean and well manicured. Good hygiene is a must. So my motto is dress your best and smell fresh. So with that said, if I'm meeting someone for the first time, I don't want yesterday's makeup. I don't want yesterday's gel in my hair. I'm going to try to be as well polished as I can to best represent myself so that it's not distracting for the person I'm meeting.
Okay, next, interview preparation for the interview itself. Here are our top 5 tips when preparing for your interview. The first is to study the job description. So if you're applying for our barista role and the person who's interviewing you says, tell me what you know about being a barista, and you say, I don't know what a barista is, that kind of tells us that you haven't really looked into the role, you haven't done your research, so we don't know if you'd be successful in our role because you don't even know what you're applying for. So study the job description well before you go in. Number 2, anticipate questions and think about examples and answers that you would give. I always like to practice interviewing with myself while I'm driving in my car to the interview. I'm like talking out loud to myself as well. You find some of your best points and answers while you have the privacy of just yourself, not in front of anybody else. Then that way you can think, oh, okay, that was a really good one. I'll have to make sure to include that in the real interview when I'm actually talking. And number 3, practice interviewing out loud. That's really important. Practice in the mirror. How's your body language? How's your eye contact? Are you stuttering? Are you using a lot of filler words? You can catch all of that and work on it before the actual interview. Number 4, learn about the company, their history, and culture. Every company has a vision of what they want to do. So if you can speak to that vision and say, I know that Nordstrom is a fashion authority and that they are all about customer service and providing the best experience to the customer, and I want to be a part of that. That tells me that you've done your research about our company and that you really resonate what we stand for. Number 5, know where to go for your interview, how to get there, and who you're interviewing with. Don't be late. If you get an address for your interview and you have no idea where it is, drive there the day before. Take a look. Which door were you supposed to walk into? And there's no harm in doing that. In fact, we had a hard time finding this place. So when you're rushed, you're not feeling your best. You're not comfortable. You're not calm and collected. So if you can practice getting there ahead of time and know that you're not going to be late, then that would be a best case scenario.
One thing I like to add always is just the top thing. Okay, maybe your outfit isn't the greatest outfit. Maybe you woke up not feeling good that day. do not be late to your interview. When you're late to an interview, it tells the person you're meeting that you don't respect their time. Just like we talked so much about how to dress well and how to represent yourself well as far as what you're wearing, a first impression plays a lot on whether you're on time or early for your interview. So don't make that mistake of being late, because at that door when you're late, the employer is already, you're just giving them a bad taste in their mouth, a bad impression of you. Do you know your strengths? So this is super, super important as well. I'm sure for those of you who have either done practice interviews or who have been into an interview before, a lot of the time the employer is always going to ask for your strengths and weaknesses. It's just something that we want to know about you. And so these are just going to be some helpful tips to just help you think about those things in maybe a different light, or if it's something you struggle with. I know that sometimes when people ask me for the strengths, I kind of freeze up and I'm like, wait, my strengths? What are my strengths? How come I don't know what my strengths are? So this is just a little bit, a couple of things just to help you think about them and to acknowledge what they are. Recognizing your strengths is the first step to discovering a career fit that maximizes your opportunities for success and job satisfaction. It also gives you confidence in the interview when you can speak to your strengths. So here's a couple things. Number one, reflect and recognize achievements in your life. So maybe an award that you recently got, or maybe a time that you got a really top grade that you were super excited and happy about. Or maybe a time that you were maybe in a group project that was super successful. What skills do you have that helped you achieve that success? So what are some things that helped you be successful there? Was it your time management? Was it that you were able to delegate your tasks well to other people? Was it because you did your research, you learned what all your resources are to help you be successful in that? Number two, ask yourself, in your latest project or activity or work, what did you excel in and what did you enjoy the most? So maybe you're in a group project. I love group projects because I like working with other people. I like that collaboration, or when you bounce your ideas off other people. I like planning and setting a schedule so we can all be successful. So think about like what kind of things happened for you that you were able to focus on that helped you be successful. Number three, a strength is inner motivated. So one that you almost can't help whenever the opportunity comes up. Examples would be you're detail-oriented or you're persuasive or solution-oriented. So no matter what you're doing, those are always traits and characteristics about yourself that always come out anytime that you're doing something. It's important that you know your strengths, because when you're meeting with an employer and they're trying to hire you for your job, they're going to want to know what you're good at, what's unique about you, and that way they can see how you're going to excel in the job if they hire you.
Okay, these are our top 5 tips during the interview. The first is to start the interview at the door. You want to show enthusiasm and interest from the moment that you walk in, and in the company and position that you're interviewing for. So the moment that you walk in, you want to be upbeat, engaged, personable, positive. When someone walks in and isn't enthusiastic about being there, we can tell. Number 2, be positive and emphasize your strengths. So you want to keep it positive and upbeat. The only time that you should speak kind of negatively about yourself is when we're asking you for a weakness. So try to highlight all of the good things about your personality, give them like the down low on this is what's awesome about me. Try to avoid any kind of negative talk. Number 3, listen carefully and ask for clarification if necessary. Pause and think if you need to before answering. So you want to be very deliberately listening, even though you're kind of nervous and you don't really know if this person's going to like you. Listen carefully to their questions. Are they asking you in general, or are they asking you for an example? Are they asking you about your school or your work, your personal or your professional? Make sure that you keep the question in mind when you're answering the question. Number 4, be mindful of your body language. Body language says a lot, guys. Sometimes it says more than what you're even saying out loud verbally. So shoulders back, straight up, eye contact, not fidgeting. Make sure you show with your body that you want to be there. And number 5, keep answers to the point and share examples when you can. So try not to ramble. Make sure that everything that you're saying is with a purpose. Deliberately, intentionally speak, and make sure everything you're saying relates back to the original question.
Wonderful. So now that you guys are experts on how to prepare for an interview and what to wear, I just wanted to share with you guys that you guys know we work for Nordstrom. We've actually worked for Nordstrom for quite some time. And we offer a lot of different opportunities. So yes, we are a leader in the fashion industry and customer service, but we offer sales positions. We offer support positions, so like in stock or customer service. We offer positions in our restaurant, specialty coffee, in our beauty department. Anything else?
Internships.
So if you're interested, we have stores, which are larger stores that you guys have probably noticed, but then our Nordstrom Rack, which is our off-price store as well. Everywhere from Tacoma all the way up to
Northgate.
Northgate.
Yeah, I think that's our highest up.
Bellevue. Yeah. So careers.nordstrom.com, that's where you'll go to create a profile. That's the first step. After you create a profile, you can actually look at all locations around this area to see who's hiring. And then therefore you'd be able to submit your application. Colin is upstairs on the third floor, so he has a lot more information in regards to that. If you guys want to talk to him about his career, what are best steps, how do you submit your application the quickest, he's up there to answer your questions. Yes?
Questions?
What were your guys' first jobs?
So I finished school and I was trying to find some place that could be flexible with my school schedule. And I had a friend that worked at Nordstrom that said, hey, I think you'll be really good with customers. And I was like, really? Okay. So I applied and I started working on the sales floor in Tacoma. And then from Tacoma, I just started taking different career paths because Nordstrom is so cool about hiring within our company. We believe in our people. We invest in our people. We have a hire within philosophy. So a lot of people, just like our CEO, will start off working in the stock room and you can make your way up to just endless opportunities.
I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, where I was born and raised. So I started with Nordstrom there. I was an elementary school teacher. I was teaching elementary school, preschool for a few years, and teachers just don't get paid enough in Hawaii. So I needed an after-school job that would be flexible with my teaching schedule. And I started working at Nordstrom in sales, in the men's department. From men's, I went to cosmetics, and then I gave up my career in teaching for a career in human resources with Nordstrom. And I didn't have any experience in HR or administrative skills, but because I saw something in that position and I made it known what I wanted to do and why I'd be passionate about a position in HR, Nordstrom decided to invest in me. And there was so much onboarding because I didn't know anything. But that's what's really cool about Nordstrom is if you want to do this and you tell people that you want to do it, they're going to help get you there. And now I'm here in Washington with all of you. Any other questions before you guys get off to your 2:30 session? Okay. I'll pass around the candy jar one more time. And then you can take it and pass it down.
No questions? Are you sure?